Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we'll be learning how to make this beautiful strapless dress, and if you are interested in seeing how I made this, keep on watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, kindly subscribe, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for always coming back to this channel. First thing to do is to get your fabric. I used 2 yards of fabric, if you're wondering, and I folded it into 2, which means 1 yard on each side. After folding it into 2, I went ahead to fold it diagonally to form a triangle. Now I did not completely fold the triangle because I do not want it too wide, but if you want it too wide, you can feel free to do that. If you want exactly what is on the thumbnail, then you follow what I'm doing in this video. Now, after folding my fabric into a triangle, I then go ahead to look for the point where I have my bust measurement divided by 4 plus 1 inch for seam allowance, which was 11.25. And after getting the point where that line is, where the mark is, I'm marking it up. After doing that, I'll go up by, okay, what I just confirmed is to confirm the length of my fabric to show that I still have the same length that I want to work with. So after doing that, I went up by 4. I went up by 4 inches because your off shoulder measurement for something like this should start from 4 to 5 inches. So I went up by 4 so I can get 4 inches, which means I removed 4 inches from my measurement. Now, to get your shoulder measurement, you divide your original shoulder, which mine is 16 inches, by 4. Normally, when you want to make your dress, you divide your shoulder measurement by 2, but this you divide your shoulder measurement by 4 because it will be sitting down on your chest, or you divide your round chest measurement by 2. Either ways, but your shoulder measurement usually does the work for me. Now, after doing that, I'll go ahead and connect it. Okay, I added half an inch allowance to my shoulder measurement divided by 4, and then I'll go ahead and connect it to my bust measurement, the first line that we drew. Now, after doing all of that, I just want to confirm the line there, so that I'll be sure that I have the same measurement that we're working with. Then I'll connect. Now, you don't want your armhole curve to be so deep, else you'll be exposing your side boobs. Now, you can see the first curve that I drew is a bit deep, so I decided to, extend it. I decided to extend it to the other side so that it will not be as deep as it is right now. NEPA has brought the lights. So, after doing that, we're done with the upper part of this dress. Yes, this is it. The only thing that you can do differently from here is to deepen your neckline. That is, if you want your neckline to be deeper than what we have, instead of a straight line, you want a curved, which I later did for myself anyways, but that was off camera. It's just to measure how deep you want it and you cut it, that's all. Now I'll measure my full length that I want, and I will draw a straight line. Now, because of if you're doing a circle, you measure that exact measurement round, but because we want it triangular, you just rule a straight line. So now, when I measured the exact 21 inch I have on the side in front, you can see that I still have about 5 inches left, which is what you want. You need to have that front part longer than the side. That's just the trick to have this triangular shape. But if you want it to be circular, you do the normal circle version, and you measure the same measurement all around. If you want me to do a circle top tutorial, this top but circle for you, let me know in the comment section down below. If you watch to this point and you're not subscribed to my channel, you are wrong, guys. Please subscribe to this channel, give it a thumbs up if you like it, and turn up your post notifications so that you get notified whenever I post any new video on this channel. You can see me cutting the parts that we don't need, so that we'll be left with the parts that we need. Now, after cutting the sides, I'll go ahead and cut the armhole and open up the remaining side of it. When we folded the fabric into 4, we had one side that was still unfold, but we need the 4 sides to be open. So that's why we're opening it up. After doing that, I'll just trim out the excess that I have on that side, because we want everything to be straight and crisp. So you can see we are done. If you're not comfortable with the shape you have, you can go ahead and trim. You can trim as much as you want. You can freestyle it. In fact, you can even give it a different shape than this. But yeah, this is what I went for. Now, to cut the straps that I'll be using, I cut them like a bias. So I did not cut it on a straight line. I made it diagonal so that it will have a little bit of stretch. It will be like your normal bias strip that you buy in the market, only this is with your fabric. Then I went ahead to measure 2 inches from that diagonal line I drew first. After measuring 2 inches, I went ahead to measure another 2 inches because I wanted enough fabric to work with, so that I will not have to go back and start doing this again. So you want to do that as well. Now, after doing the first line, I'll go ahead and measure the same 2 inches on the second line, so that we have 2 of that long continuous strap. That's exactly what you want. So guys, if you're a returning subscriber to my channel, I cannot stop, and I will never stop saying thank you for always coming back and always staying with us, always sticking with us, even with the inconsistency, with everything, all of my drama, you've remained with me. So I say thank you very much. I do not take your love for granted. I am very grateful. So I'll go ahead now and cut out those pieces so that we will have 2 diagonal strips or straps. Right now they are strips, but when they are on the bodies, they are straps. So whatever. Anyways, after cutting them out, I'll divide them into 2, and then I'll show you how to fold. Now, for the folding, we are folding it like a bias strip. The way when you buy bias from the market, the way it's folded, that's how we're folding it. But there are 2 ways to do that. You can either use a bias maker that I'll be showing you, or you can use your pressing iron, which I'll also be showing you how you're going to go about it. Now you can see that after cutting it, it will have kind of like stretch on it. Now this is what I mean by when you want to use a pressing iron for this. You fold once, you fold twice, and then you fold them on each other. You can see that, and you go ahead and iron it. But you can also use your bias maker. If you want me to show you a detailed tutorial on how to use a bias maker, let me know in the comment section down below. Now, after ironing the straps, this is what you would have. You can see it looking so nice and crisp, and both edges are smooth. That's exactly what you want here, both edges to be smooth. So you can see the part that I pinned down. I just did that for tutorial purpose. Now I'm going to take out the pin so that you see how this thing is done. So guys, you can see the neckline. I told you that I went ahead to dip in my neckline. This is the result. If you don't want it dipping, you can leave it on a straight line the way it was before. So I just bring the strap and I'll sandwich it in between the straps. That's why I'm zooming in on my camera so that you see. I just place it in between that strap. The strap has 2 layers. So you sandwich the main fabric in between the 2 layers. You pin it down and then you sew. Guys, I advise you pin because it makes your work neater, and then it just saves you a lot of time than going to the sewing machine. You're arranging, you're sewing. If you don't get it right, you go back, you loosen it. All of that drama is unnecessary if you just pin it down. So I'm all for pro pinning, like I'm all for pinning all the way. So you pin, cut out the excess for the neckline, and then you go ahead and sew on your sewing machine. So just focus on the video and see what I'm doing. You can see it without sewing, it already looks nice. So when you finish sewing, to look like this other one, like this, you can see it looks so nice and it already looks beautiful. Now, for you to get the measurement of your armhole, the strap you would use for your armhole, you measure the armhole the allowance you have under your armhole. Now you can see me measuring it on your screen. So yeah, I got 7.25. And remember, when we measure from the start, when we measured, we went up by 4 inches, and when I measured from my own shoulder to that 4 inches, I had 5.25. Now you will now take your calculator and do 7.25 plus 5.25. It will give you 12.5. You multiply that by 2. That's 25. And then you go ahead and add your seam allowance. So you can decide to add 0.5 inches seam allowance, which I did, which is 25.5. So that the reason for the seam allowance is so that it will not be too tight on your shoulder. But if you're okay with it tight, or if you're using a stretchy fabric, don't add allowance. This fabric has no stretch. That's why I'm adding allowance. So I'll go ahead and cut my straps to be 25.5 inches long. Now, what I'm saying might not make sense, but when you do it, like when you practice it, it will make sense to you. So don't complain yet. Put it into practice and let me know how it turns out. Now, after cutting my strap, I'll go ahead and pin it down. Now, you need to watch closely how I do this, because here will determine the finished look of your strap. Now, after pinning down one side of the armhole and sewing, you would now measure. When you get to that top part, you now measure. Remember, 5.25 times 2 is 10.5. You now measure that 10.5 and just put a pin there, or you can use your chalk to mark that point. You just want to indicate where that point is. So from that point, that's when you will now continue the remaining armhole of the back. Let's say you started from the front, so you now continue the remaining armhole of the back. If your strap calculation was correct, when you do this, you will not have any excess strap left. Everything will be pinned down. That's why I said practice it before you complain. Now, when you pin it down, you will just sew a continuous sewing from the front to the back, or from the back to the front. It's just going to be a continuous stitch all around. And that's that for this for this top. The same thing you do on the left side, you do on the right side. The same thing you do on the right side, you do on the left side. You just mirror them, because that's how our body is. After doing the strap, you now go ahead and sew the sides together, and then you hem it. You weave if you want to weave, or if it's a fabric that you need to weave, you weave it. And that's that about this. Thank you guys for watching. I will show you the finished look in a minute. Now you can see, after joining the side, I went ahead to press it down so that it will not be flying out on my armpit. That's not a pretty sight. So you just go ahead and top stitch on it, and you're basically done. Thank you guys for always coming back, and stay tuned for the next video that will be dropping on this channel next week, or even during the week, who knows. Till my next video, have a blessed morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever this finds you. Ciao.